Hello everyone. So with this video, I would like you to, I would love to make you understand that what is the role of a business analyst, basically a functional business analyst throughout the SDLC process. So I'm really glad that whatever I'm posting or whatever I'm writing about business analyst, about my experience, you guys are loving it. So that says with the number of impressions which I'm getting. So I'm absolutely delighted. So right now, currently, let's actually take it a bit further. Writing is good, but I have to actually make a point to explain you whatever I'm actually writing so that it resonates with you. So just knowing or understanding the terms is not enough. So exactly how to apply it, that is also one part of a trick, right? So after some time or after a few days, I'll be actually starting a business analysis masterclass in which I'll be actually explaining each bit by bit. I'll be going through each and every documentation, every stage for a business analyst from the start of the project to the end of the project. So the domain which I'll be taking is e-governance domain, and the project name will be grievance redressal system. Okay. So coming back to this video, so I have actually mentioned about like what is the role that a business analyst actually do throughout the SDLC process, along with few of other things as well. So let's start with the pre-sales first. Yes, so business analyst actually doesn't get involved that much in pre-sales. However, in small startups or companies, they actually get involved in the pre-sales as well. So that is the reason why I've actually chosen to included that. So what you are seeing it over here, the image that you are seeing it over here is a swim lane diagram. So it is one way of representing the process flow diagram. I have done it in the Microsoft Visio 2010 because it is extremely easy. However, you can actually choose to do it in LucidChat, Draw.io, or other diagram softwares, right? So let's start with the business analyst process. So first, let's go with the pre-sales department. So first and foremost thing which you will be doing in the pre-sales is that understanding the RFP. So whatever the RFP or the request for proposals you have actually gotten, if it might be request for proposal or it might come through a email that these are the things which we want. So then you need to actually prepare a sort of questionnaire along with that, which you need to actually push it to the client and get the answer to that. After that, after understanding what they really wanted to do, you need to actually present a PPT which shall encompass everything starting like this is what you're gonna be doing, this is the stage, this is the technical architectures, this is the process, this is the EAT management plan, change management plan. So everything will be mentioned in this solution PPT. So it is like a informal way of saying or a formal way of saying like how you gonna take up this project to deliver it. Then, so this PPT will be presented in the first kickoff meeting to the client. And for if you get the contract of actually building this software or project, then start the SDLC process. So the discovery phase, which I also says requirement gathering phase. So you need to actually prepare the questionnaire or prepare all the questionnaires. So based on the understanding that you possess during the client kickoff meeting, so you need to actually prepare a questionnaire, the interview, service, all those kind of techniques, and actually get a signed MOM from them. Like whatever questions you have asked uh, in that questionnaire, so you need to actually get it signed. See, these are all other requirements. Then you need to actually translate it into a business case documents, which will have like a scope document basically. Okay, so it is a basically scope document like a system as is, gap analysis, those kind of documents which you can actually write it in the business case documents, which you can later use in BRD or FRS. Okay. Then one of the most important aspect of everything is managing your stakeholders, right? Because at the end of the day, you are the ones who will be dealing with multiple stakeholders. So creating a stakeholder matrix or a stakeholder registers is gonna help you in a long run. So I would always want you guys to actually have a stakeholder matrix or a register. However, there are certain companies who actually jump directly to the requirement elicitation plan without actually getting the stakeholder matrix system. So that is a very bad way to do it, but I would suggest to actually get it through the stakeholder matrix. So once the discovery phase is over, so basically you have understood all the things, what is in scope, what is out of scope. So you have gotten a very broad outline about what you have to do. And so right now you have actually gotten a fair idea about what are the modules or sub-modules is gonna be. So then you actually get into a deep analysis or a requirement elicitation phase. So this is just an extension of like discovery phase, where you actually get into each and every word or each and every line that is mentioned in the business case document, so that you can actually a come up with a solution, right? So then after actually getting the requirements from them, after analyzing it, you need to actually maintain the process flow diagrams, use cases, activity diagrams, then create a business requirement document. Okay, so in the business requirement document, what you wanted to do is that you can actually just mention about the process flow diagram, like how the process is gonna be, just the way that I'm actually representing in this video. Okay, so several companies also what they do not actually do a BRD, rather they start doing the FRS, or it is also known as FRD, functional requirement document. So it encompasses the user story, acceptance criteria, system access gap analysis, which you will be actually getting from the business case document itself. The technical functional, the functional requirement specification document will also have a non-functional requirement, supposedly the size of the RAM, like hosting plan, everything, hardware requirements, software requirements, you can actually mention it over here. The technical architecture or the technical stack, the deployment diagram, all this you can actually mention it over there. However, if at all you do not include that, we will get it covered in the later part as well. So then one of the most important aspect of the business analyst is to actually sit with the PM to actually have a effort estimation. Several companies actually what they do is that the BA does not sit with the effort estimation part. The PM does it, and it actually side with the BA. Okay, but some companies actually have the provision that a business analyst needs to sit with the PA. So for the effort estimation part, then you need to get into a requirement traceability matrix. So basically, this is exactly how where you will be able to track each and everything about the project. So whatever the things or whatever the points that is mentioned in the FRS, you need to actually write it down and map it, that whether the test cases or the development or the UAT is gonna be has been done in that way or not. So you will be I'll be actually saying in the later part of the video how requirement traceability matrix is gonna help you. So after the requirement traceability matrix, you actually do the prototype design. So now you have actually wrote about FRS, BRD, process flow diagrams. So right now you have a fair bit of idea like what are the fields will be in every stream. So you design a prototype. So there is yes, there is a difference between prototype and wireframing, right? Wireframing is what business analyst does. It is, as the name suggests, is just like a outline of the design that they want, which is actually shared to the UI UX team, and they do the proper designing part, which actually gets into a prototype stage. So wireframing, you can do it with pencil. The prototyping is done mostly in Figma, or else HTML CSS can also be used for prototyping design. Then the same prototype will be actually showcased to the demo to understand like what are the lacunas that we are having in the analysis. So it is getting incorporated. After that, throughout this prototype, then we will actually start to design the database, the ER diagrams. I would highly recommend, just because of the advancement of Gen AI, I would highly recommend that you get involved in this database design. You get involved, you do the ER diagrams, and also that you will have a fair bit of understanding about the technical aspect of it as well. So what will happen whenever a client wants to change, you can actually, without even coming back to the database team, you can actually answer it then and there itself. So database design is one of the most important part. And why it is important? Supposedly there are two companies, your company and another company is working for a project. You have developed it and they are actually just preparing the analytical dashboard using Tableau or Power BI, right? So there would be discussions pertaining to this ER diagrams only, where the business analyst needs to lead. So if you do not actually get involved in this ER diagrams, then during those kind of conversation, you will be feeling left out. So then the SRS happens. It is a technical document having the use cases. It also has activity diagram, use cases diagram, everything that is there. It is included in the software requirement specification. along with pre-condition, post conditions, the exception criteria, all this, the input, the output. So several companies actually use SRS as the final requirement document. However, some companies like CMMI level 5 company, they actually also have a SDD, system design document, where they maintain the data dictionary part, okay, along with all sorts of diagrams, the database design diagrams, the deployment architecture diagram, technical architecture diagram. So those are actually also mentioned in system design document. However, some companies actually make it in the SRS itself, incorporate in the SRS itself. Then the development phase kicks in. You actually need to make the developer understand what all the things that needs to be developed and all. So here, one of the criteria that you need to follow is that you need to have a great relationship with the stakeholder management. So that is the reason where the stakeholder matrix, the thing that which I have mentioned in the discovery phase, the stakeholder matrix is will come up handy, right? Because you will understand who are the most influenced persons and all those kind of stuff. So that whenever a developer wants to ask a questions or which you have failed to analyze, I'm sorry, but there are certain instances where you will be actually you will not uh, not you will not have analyzed in that way in which other developer would, and that is fairly normal. So having a cordial relationship with the stakeholders, you can actually just move to the stakeholders and get the doubts clarified so that the development, the project goes in the direction in which the client wants. Okay. So that is the reason why stakeholder matrix is really important. Along with that, you need to have a requirement traceability matrix. You need to also understand as a BA that even if the changes wants, even if the developer wants the changes or the client wants the changes, it should not deviate from what has been mentioned in the FRS, or else a change management process will happen, right? So then finally comes the testing phase. So before testing phase, the developers do the unit testing. So then it comes the testing phase. So the testing team will write the test cases. So you need to review that the test cases is actually incorporating all the positive, negative scenario and whatever that has been mentioned in the FRS points. So finally, when you actually do the review the test cases, you yourself do the functional testing part. Then you go and showcase the complete product to the client, okay, and get the UAT acceptance or the UAT signed up, so that one of the major milestones will be achieved through that. So UAT is basically user acceptance testing. There are 5 different user acceptance testing which I have already mentioned in the post. So you can actually go through that. There is operational acceptance testing, there is contractual acceptance testing, there is beta testing, there is alpha testing. So those kind of user acceptance testing. So choose one which is actually beneficial for you. Mostly contract and the operational testing, acceptance testing is being done in all the companies. For the beta and alpha, it is basically for the product-based company who actually develop product for themselves. Then once the UAT has been accepted, the client has actually made it possible that yes, all the requirements is with us, and where if some of the point that is missing, then you need to actually redevelop it. So that is what the agile process is. Then finally, you need to actually make it go live or deployment and implementation. You create the user manuals or you preside over user manuals thing. Then you actually provide the implementation support like training, creating manuals, those kind of things. If at all during the go live period, during the implementation part, there is certain kind of changes or there is a certain kind of scope creep that happens. So you need to actually have a change management plan, which would be mentioned in the FRS very clearly, FRS or BRD, and also the contract very clearly. So the change management happens. So you can actually go for the change request if it is actually beyond a certain threshold of the development task, or if it is within that threshold, then you can actually take it in the maintenance phase. When you're maintaining the production log, obviously you need to actually maintain all the issues, all the and track it based on the priority and the severity matrices. Okay, I hope you know about the P1 priority and severity part. Priority is basically what is actually what is actually important for the client, while the severity is like what impact does it have on the system. So that is how the priority and severity goes along. Then obviously, I would always consider you to be your technical PA. So you're able to create the reports and analytics part and showcase it to the clients whenever or wherever they asked. Or also for the analytical dashboard, okay, there might be time where you need to actually come up with the analytical dashboard as well. So that I will be covering as a technical business analyst video, not in this. This is basically a functional business analyst role. And hurrah, the project will be over for you. So that's the end. I hope you guys liked it. So I'll be actually having a video regarding the master business analyst master classes. So where I'll actually go from end to end, starting from the start of the project to the end of the project with all the process which I have mentioned it over here, so that it will be easier and beneficial for you. Thank you. Have a nice day, and I hope you have gotten something to learn. So kindly like, follow, repost, and comment if you have any kind of suggestions. Thank you.